Hi everybody, I'm Colleen McRae Katz. Welcome to my kitchen. I just wanted to introduce you to, hello, my two little helpers that are always either running into the shot or making some noise, so you usually know they're around, so I wanted to introduce you to them. This is Caviar. He's our new little puppy. Right, Cav? We call him Cavi, or we call him Cavi T Monster, because the veterinarian called him a crazy little monster. So he's our little puppy. Go ahead, buddy. And this is Crystal, and she's the granddam of the house. She's 13 years old, but she's still our baby. Right, baby? So you probably see them or hear them while I'm doing my recipes. Now I have to go wash my hands because I was touching the little guy. And today, I'm going to be making Philadelphia cream cheese bruschetta melts. When I went to the store the other day, I saw Philadelphia cream cheese with sun-dried tomatoes and basil, and I thought, I have to make something with this because it just sounded so good. So it came to mind that maybe I could do something with bruschetta and the cream cheese, and my husband said, well, I like bruschetta, but the stuff is always falling off the top. So I thought, well, why don't I put some mozzarella on top, keep the bruschetta on the bread, and that way it won't fall off. So this is what I came up with. You start with one teaspoon of white wine vinegar or white vinegar, a third cup of olive oil. I'm trying to get all of that olive oil out of there, so I really like olive oil. And 2 tablespoons of fresh basil chopped. Now I really love fresh basil, so I always keep fresh basil in my freezer in a Ziploc, and I use my kitchen shears to chop it up. So it's a chiffonade, but it's a fake chiffonade because I'm not really good with knife skills. So that's how I do it. And I always have that in my freezer, so it's always fresh. 1/4 teaspoon of seasoning salt. Get that in there. 1/8 teaspoon, just a little tiny bit of garlic powder. And I throw in 1/8 teaspoon of, I'm going to hold for a second on that, 1/8 teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. This is my electric pepper mill, I love it. Saves my arm. That's about enough of that. And just whisk it all together. I use a really big bowl so I don't make a mess everywhere. And as you can see, as you whisk, it starts to emulsify the vinegar and the oil. And it almost looks like melted butter when it starts to emulsify. Okay, so that's nice and mixed up there. So here. Then we have 4 plum tomatoes, seeded and finely diced. And what I did to seed the tomatoes is I used my melon baller to scoop out the seeds. It was so easy. I'll throw those in there. And let me grab my wooden spoon. And just mix it all up. And that's your bruschetta right there, or your tomatoes that go on your bruschetta. In the meantime, you're letting your oven heat up while you're getting all of your herbs and everything ready to 425 degrees, so that you can melt the cheese on top. And what I did was I got a loaf of bread, and the loaf of bread was just a tiny little loaf, about 2 inches in diameter. I cut it on a diagonal, and that gives you pieces of bread like this, which are a great size for bruschetta. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our Philadelphia cream cheese with sun-dried tomato and basil, and we're going to generously spread it on our slices of bread. And let me tell you, this is delicious. Even just this on the bread is so good. But it's really easy to do. It comes together in, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, depending on how quick you are with these things. You'll probably take a quick break here because you don't have to watch me spread cream cheese on every single piece of bread. So we'll take a quick break while I finish this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. We've gotten the cream cheese spread on all of our little pieces of bread. And here's our tomato mixture. And we just spoon it on. A little bit on each one. Trying not to get too much oil because it can get pretty sloppy. You don't really need the oil. And the cookie sheets have been sprayed with cooking spray so that everything won't stick on there because it is going to be cheese on top. And cheese is very sticky, so we don't want everything to just kind of be a mess. So you use the cooking spray. Let me swap these out. And it really doesn't take very long in the oven because you are putting it on 425 degrees, which is pretty high. So it won't take but 10 minutes or so for the cheese to melt. And this is great for an appetizer, or the other night I had some company over and it was almost like a tapas dinner because we had so many appetizers. It was great. Of course, we ladies, we don't even eat before we go out, so it was just the ladies and it was great. We just ate like appetizers for dinner. I loved it. One year on my birthday, I just ate dessert for dinner. And that was fantastic. My family loved that. Okay, so the next thing you do is you take 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella. And you just top each one with some shredded mozzarella. I like a lot. So you're going to see me really really mounding it up here. You can hear the dog's collar because he's scratching himself, and I might have to holler at him. Cabby! Thank you. He gets a little obsessive with his itching there. I do believe he has ADD. I do believe the doctor thinks he has ADD. But we love him. We'll keep him. Right, buddy? Oh, that's a little bit too much there. Okay. So you just generously pile up the cheese, just like you would on a little mini pizza or something. And it can go down the sides and whatever. We'll get that off later. And 8 ounces, as you can see, just about does it for the 2 trays. I mean, there's a little bit left, but not much. Put it in the oven. I put it on the top rack so that it melts the cheese pretty quickly. It's hot. I should have used an oven mitt. It'll take about 10 minutes. You can check on it. Depending on your oven, it could take a little longer, a little shorter. Once the cheese is nice and melted, you're good to go. The other night, I had a little bit of time. I wanted to have them ready ahead of time, so I put them on plates, covered them with some foil, turned the oven off, and put them back in the oven, and they stayed nice and warm for when people were coming. So we're going to stop now. I'm going to plate it up, and I'm going to show you how I would serve it. Be back in a couple minutes. Okay, so our bruschetta is finished, and they came out gorgeous. Our bruschetta melts, actually, and they look so good, and they smell delicious. And we're going to serve them tonight as a tapas dinner for 2 with a little bit of wine. You can serve them as appetizers for your company before dinner. They'd be great as finger food for a shower or a party because you can make them easily, and you can make them in triple and quadruple batches so that you can serve a lot of people quickly and easily and really inexpensively. So thank you for joining me in my kitchen today, and I'm going to sneak one of these before my husband stops filming. Really good. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.